All right, hi everybody. On this Wednesday evening, I want to give you a brief live update as we approach just after 7:30 on this Wednesday evening about what's going on out there. I've been posting some radar loops to my social media pages, kind of getting you caught up on what's happening. And overall, things have stayed below severe levels, but there's a couple of storms that do have some strong wind gusts that I want you to be aware of. It's not too widespread, and it's mainly south of the city right now. And if I show you the overall loop locally, where we're watching is where that one polygon is here along the southern part of Walker County and northern part of Chattooga County. And then that storm near Dalton is making a lot of noise, but it's a lot weaker than it once was. But it did have some strong wind gusts with that. Back here near Fort Payne, there is a flood advisory, that part of DeKalb County, repeated rounds of rain causing some ponding and some isolated flooding in some spots. We're about to see an end to all of this. So areas west of the city started to dry out a bit. So our wettest period of the night is right now. And then later on into the night, things will kind of calm down just a little bit, not quite as active during the day tomorrow, although there's still some thunder showers in the forecast. So let's zoom in first of all, this area right between Lafayette, Tryon, Somerville. And you're talking right along Highway 27 right there. Rain, several lightning strikes, and there's still another pocket of rain back to the west on Lookout Mountain near Mentone. But this could have some wind gusts upwards of 40, at least an estimate on the radar view. So they've got an advisory on that till the top of the hour, 8 o'clock. That is moving northeast at 20. So again, it's going to be impacting areas like Lafayette, Somerville, Tryon, Center Post, and Barryton. And that'll be moving again northeast at 20. So let's pause it. We'll take a look in here. There were some gusts. I noticed before our live stream started, there were some gusts right in here near Tryon that could have peaked out about 50 miles an hour. And if you watch the loop here, you can kind of see this is the second round of strong gusts. They had bursts of strong winds move by, then they got this one here, but it's a little weaker than it was. Let's just give you a gust potential right along that Chattooga Walker County line, 47 miles an hour. So you get some strong gusts swinging on by. Same thing as you head toward southeastern Walker and possibly on into southern Whitfield. But these have had a weakening trend the farther east they move. But I just want you to know that with the heavy rain threat going on here, you're going to get some strong wind gusts with that. So it's windy, it's rainy, a lot of lightning, it's kind of noisy. Not a tornado risk right now, but it's mainly a straight line wind potential risk coming down by. So I know somebody just asked me about that, about tornado risk, and that's been pretty low. There was one tornado warning out for a while. This is about 4:30 this afternoon. That included Jackson County, Alabama, but that storm never made it into Jackson County as a tornado warned storm. It was made over Marshall County, and then, it was only in effect about 8 minutes and kind of just weakened, thankfully. So that really wasn't too bad. But as you can see, there's just some pockets still of very heavy rain, Fort Payne, and then that area, Somerville, Tryon. This is like round 3 of the heavy rain. This one, not as accompanied by as much strong wind. So it's mainly just downpours with that. The stronger wind gusts are with this system here from Lafayette to Tryon and Somerville. So wind gusts 40 to 50. And even still around Dalton, I'll put the velocity scope there, and you can see if I kind of loop that. See that dark red? You probably already know this in Dalton. You've had some strong gusts come on by. It's up near Crandall to Cisco now. And just to give you some idea, those gusts above the surface still approaching 40, so you're still pretty good, strong gusts, Cisco, Crandall, around Dalton. It's not quite as windy, still around 30, 35. So, kind of breezy, rainy there. So we'll keep an eye on that for you. But the intensity of rain has really come down quite a bit, although there's still quite a bit of lightning. So it is pretty noisy all around Varnell, to Ringgold, to Dalton. So be aware of that as it moves off to the east and to the northeast. How about around the city right now? We're getting some good soaking downpours around, the most rain we've seen in quite a while, really. A lot of lightning along the Marion, Hamilton, Dade County line, right along 59 over to Lookout Valley. So rain, lightning, but not severe. So that's good. So it's going to be a little noisy for a while, and this is going to go on through about mid-evening for eventually moving on out. But again, the only advisory locally is for that cell right there. That has some strong wind gusts. I'm moving into the rest of southeastern Walker, northern Chattooga, eventually on into southern Whitfield, but hopefully this will follow that one and start to weaken with time. We'll have to wait and see there, but overall, that's been the overall trend. But that advisory there for Walker and Chattooga is out to the top of the hour, 8 o'clock. And again, wind gusts could be between 40 and 50 miles an hour, along with very heavy downpours of rain. And of course, a lot of lightning. So let me show you the high-res model output for the rest of the evening here. So this goes about 10, 11 o'clock. There's going to be some occasional showers around, but notice we go through the overnight. It's just kind of spotty here and there. Severe threat overnight's pretty low. There'll be sometimes some lightning, thunder, but kind of just on a scattered basis. And same thing tomorrow. There'll be some thunder showers at times, but severe threat is much lower tomorrow, and the excessive rainfall outlook is much lower as well. Here was the concern earlier on with the heavy rain. This is the rain so far, and I believe I've got this on the past 48 hours. So this is going back to this time Monday. Yeah, this area here, north and west of the city, has had quite a bit of rain. Some of these amounts have been like 4 to 6 inches of rain there in Western Franklin, even around Mont Eagle, about 3 to 4 and around 3 there. So, and then you got in between 1 and 3 north and west of the city. These areas have had super saturated ground, so we're very concerned about flash flooding. Even the same thing near Fort Payne, where that aerial flood advisory because of the rain that has occurred. Areas farther east, you're getting the rain now, but the ground can kind of hold it, okay? But these areas, based on what's happened between Monday, Tuesday, and today, the ground is more saturated. This is the area to really watch for any flash flooding or excessive runoff with the heavier downpours that are ongoing. And there again is a live radar view north of the city. Not as much going on. Things are very quiet. But south of the city is much more active. And again, you can see that storm moving on by there into eastern Walker, southeastern Walker, eastern Chattooga. And over near Fort Payne, heavy rain continues to be where the flooding risk. So there you go. Just to kind of zoom in a bit, you got downpours on the Hamilton, Marion County line coming over Raccoon Mountain, Elder Mountain. So downtown, you got more downpours coming your way. Chickamauga, rain and lightning. Over to Ringgold, rain and lightning. Not severe. Dalton is still raining, a lot of lightning, but not severe at the moment. But heads up in Dalton, Villanelle, this is moving more east-northeast. Okay. And that advisory is out to the top of the hour. But if you want me to track it for you, we'll do that. So this will just bring another round of wind and heavy downpours of rain here. So this just shows you over the next hour where this storm's going to move. So this could bring, again, some wind gusts with that rain, lightning toward Villanelle just out of the top of the hour. Dalton around 8:30. And Resaca around 8:35. So you can see the points of view there. This is movement over the next hour. Okay. So again, windy, at least some more stronger wind gust and more rainfall. So be aware of excessive runoff. And then right behind that, in these areas where we already had quite a bit of rain, Somerville, Tryon, Lafayette, you got another round of rain and lightning coming in. This one doesn't have as much wind gusts with it, but more rain coming in. So a lot of areas south of the city, northwest Georgia, northeast Alabama, pretty good downpours. So be careful traveling this evening with that excessive runoff risk and the risk of some flash flooding in spots. Around the city and areas east, there's a lot of lightning, a lot of rain continuing. But north of the city, not quite as much. So things are a little less active. And again, the movement is more of an east-northeast movement there. So some of that will be still crossing back across the state line. Southern Bradley, you can see, has lightning there. And same thing in the northern Whitfield. And again, those strong wind gusts here, which we'll take a look at. Here's the velocity scan. Yeah, still some pockets of strong gusts there. Averaging just above 40. Here's gusts about 50 along the Chattooga-Walker County line. So still that's a pretty strong gust there, just south of Villanelle and just east of Tryon. Notice some comments here. Regina says just lost power in Tunnel Hill. That was probably with that first wind gust that moved on by. Hopefully that is just a temporary thing. You can kind of see us outline this on the velocity scan right there. That's where the wind gusts are pretty strong. And again, that's there's no warning with it per se. There is an advisory, but it's going to start getting out of that advisory area as it just heads up in southern Whitfield and northern Gordon of that storm inching to the north and east. So again, this advisory out to the top of the hour here. This one's outpacing that a bit. And this is the stronger of the two. I know this looks pretty robust here. This is mainly rain right here to the west. This is a storm that's got some strong wind gusts with that. So be aware that Dalton, southern parts of Whitfield, and far southeastern Walker, southeast of Lafayette, and now east of Tryon and west of Calhoun. That's where this activity is moving toward. Moving this direction with that risk of some strong gusts. Just want you to know that. And we'll keep an eye on it's the National Weather Service Peachtree City that issues the advisories and warnings for that, and they may extend this with time. And hopefully we'll see if this, as it moves east, has the weakening trend like the earlier lead storm did near Dalton. I mean, it's still windy and rainy with lightning, but not much happened with that. We're hopeful this one follows that same path, and then you have just more rain coming in from the west. Let's go back here and take a look. I'm going to show you the rainfall over the past 3 hours. Let's just go back over the past 3 hours. So this is just over the past 3 hours alone, and you can see the trails of the heavier downpours just since this is about 5 o'clock this afternoon. So these are the areas that have seen the most rain just over the past 3 hours. So southern Jackson County, about 4 inches. That's just in 3 hours' time. That's why that flood advisory is out. Along the Alabama-Georgia border, it's around 2. Northern parts of Hamilton, around 2. And right on the Franklin-Marion County line, around 1 inch. So that's over the past 3 hours. So again, it's not everywhere. There's going to be isolated spots where you do get some flash flooding going on. And there's that aerial flood advisory for that area there across Jackson and DeKalb County. Let me show you more specifically with that. Yeah, that's over Jackson and DeKalb, where that rain was a bit heavier there. So 2 to 4 has been very common the past 3 hours, but it's really isolated where that happened. And again, notice how the area of rain is kind of just shrinking a bit. It's not quite as widespread, but areas to the south still getting it pretty rough there. Even around downtown, we got a nice pocket of heavy rain there. It's going to be approaching downtown, so we're not done with that yet. If you want to go out for an evening walk, it's kind of a no-go. It's going to be a while because you got this and more rain coming in from the southwest. But if you live, say, South Pittsburgh, Mont Eagle, to Dunlap and west, things are better over the next few hours. Things are a whole lot better. Hope I answered that question. Joyce asking, are we getting any more rain from Marion County? Well, I think you are on the eastern edge. As far as the south and western edge, it's trending a little bit lower. We'll keep an eye on this down here from Marion, but I think a lot of that's going to move northeast and not due north. Hello, Kathy. Hello, April, watching in Lafayette. Hello, Courtney. Hello, Samuel. Yeah, Samuel, these are kind of moving northeast, but more east than north. Hope that answers your question. Joni asking about Cleveland. Cleveland's pretty loud south of Cleveland. There's going to be a little bit more of this rain coming in. So rain and lightning. Severe threat's pretty low for Cleveland, but still next couple of hours until all this moves out, moves northeast, it's going to be kind of rainy and thundery at times. If thundery is a word. I think it is. And overall, I noticed Destiny saying this hates nighttime storms. I get it. This is mainly an evening thing. I think overnight, a lot of this is going to be more just isolated. So I'm not going to rule out rain or thunder overnight, but not quite as concentrated as what we're seeing now. Mainly just an isolated thing. All right, let's go back to this cell right here. It's a pretty tiny thing. It is getting a little bit smaller, but it has outpaced the polygon. So the area that was being outlined here, that storm is now right here. And still, that potential for some strong wind gusts, you can see it. Raise your hand if you can see where it is. Yeah, we're looking right there in the purple area. Strong wind gusts there, exceeding 50. This is above the surface, okay? And then in the areas in deeper red, 50. So there's still some strong gusts there. And that's right along that very weird 4-county area, actually 5-county area from Floyd, Walker, Chattooga, Gordon, and Whitfield, all right there in that little apex there, just to the west of 75. Some very strong gusts about to cross 75 there. But that's a pretty decent storm there. Keeping an eye on that for you. And that's moving off to the east. Again, that advisory here expires in the next 5 minutes, but I'll be interested to see if another advisory is issued here. If not, just understand that's why we're showing this, is that some strong wind gusts will be approaching southern parts of Whitfield and toward the Dalton and Chatsworth area. So we'll do another quick scan of this one with those wind gusts. That's kind of general area where it's moving northeast. So I'm going to get a little windy here, Villanelle, Pratersville, Keith's Mill area, and over to Spring Place. So we'll keep an eye on that with that little pocket of strong gusts there right on the county line moving northeast. And again, this band coming in here, it is not quite as strong with the winds. It's mainly rain and lightning. Yeah, velocity is a lot lower. You don't have those bright reds. It's just generally some downpours. It's more of that right there that you can clearly see. There's a pocket of strong gusts there, just southwest of Dalton and headed to the northeast. So we'll hold here and see what advisory updates are on that one. But if you notice something, notice how it's just a little bit weaker, a little bit smaller, the cell. It may not be weaker in strength, but a little bit smaller there. And then this one storm that was near Dalton that got a little weaker, well, they've issued a new advisory here for Polk, Cherokee, and Monroe. It's for this one right here. And that's the one that's had some gusts that went over Dalton. So let's take a look at that. So this will be out till about 8:45. Again, that storm, the storm south of the Benton area, 11 miles south of Benton. I think it's that one that's right there near Cisco and Crandall. It's moving to the northeast at 35. It's got some wind gusts upwards of 40 estimated. So let's take a look at that. Again, you can see the velocity scan right there. Some bursts of gusts there. The storm kind of rotates a bit, and that's common with some of these that have a northeasterly movement. They're going to have a little rotation with it, and I don't want to scare anyone when I say rotation. It's a rotating storm. It's a strong storm, but it's got some pockets of stronger gusts. So let's just take a look at that. They're a little lower than they were about a half hour ago, but still 30, 40. The advisory issues that gusts could be upwards around 40. So it's a little bit stronger coming out of Murray County. So 30 to 40 there. So again, if we track this storm here, moving northeast at 35. See, the next hour is going to slice right through that polygon area there. So can you read that? Cisco just before 8 o'clock. Silco here in Polk County till 8:14. Ducktown around 8:30. Turtletown 8:40. Then crossing into Cherokee County into Fields of the Wood 8:47. So again, rain, lightning, and some gusts up to 40. It's below severe parameters. Just letting you know that across the Ocoee River region, strong winds are coming your way. So that's from that cell right there. That's had a history of producing some wind gust. All right. Oh, here we go. That's a severe thunderstorm warning. This is not surprising. There it is. Severe thunderstorm warning there for Floyd, Gordon, Murray, Whitfield. That area we're showing with the strong gusts. Okay. Issued just moments ago. Southwestern Murray, northeastern Floyd, southeastern Whitfield, southeastern Walker, and northwestern Gordon. Severe thunderstorm located right over Lake Marvin, about 10 miles northwest of Calhoun, and moving northeast at 15, could have 60-mile-an-hour wind gust and penny-sized hail. And we showed you where that core could be, around 60-mile-an-hour winds just above the surface there. So again, that's where that area right here, Resaca is in this. Give you a few other town names: Dalton, Resaca, Sugar Valley, Everett Springs, and Nicholsville. So be aware of these strong gusts there. And that is a severe thunderstorm warning for those parts of those counties, 8:45. More specifically, I'll read it again. Southwestern Murray, northeastern Floyd, southeastern Whitfield, southeastern Walker, and northwestern Gordon County. That severe thunderstorm warning out till 8:45. That storm movement is to the northeast at 15. And that is no surprise to that cell right there. We've been tracking it for you and showing you those gust potential. There it is. Right there on the county line. 50, 60. That just updated. So let me do this one more time. Live broadcast here. Just west of Resaca. That's a gust close to 60 above the surface. May not be 60 right at the surface, but again, it's got a potential there. But it's right in here. Right where those strong gusts are. Swinging on through. So again, that's the one we've been tracking, and no surprise that they issued a warning for that. The other advisory that was in effect for Southern Walker or Chattooga, that's now expired. So let's do a quick tracker on this for you. Dalton's right on the edge of this polygon. It's probably going to outpace it. But this will be clearing that polygon before 8:45. But Dalton, just south of Dalton, this whole area of southern Whitfield, the far southwestern corner of Murray, and this far northwestern corner of Gordon County. So it's probably going to stay north of Calhoun where the roughest weather is. But let's do a quick tracker on this. They've slowed the pace down a bit. So Hill City 811 right there. Keith's Mill 846, and they're 9 o'clock towards Spring Place. And if you're just tuning in, that is the only severe thunderstorm warning locally, but there's no surprise here based on the velocity scan. That's a severe thunderstorm warning out for southwestern Murray, northeastern Floyd, southeastern Whitfield, southeastern Walker, northwestern Gordon County. And if you notice here, this polygon got extended. It's for the same storm. The storm right here. So they've expanded that to include Murray, parts of Fannin, and far northwestern Gilmer. LJ, you're not in that. And just barely west of Blue Ridge, not in the polygon of this advisory, not a warning, but advisory, but be aware of that. So again, wind gust potential with this, again, it's going to be the same as what you're going to see for Polk, up to 40, so 30 to 40. Heavy rain and lightning there. And just to show you again, if you compare the velocity scans, the winds aloft, there are some strong gusts with that, but these are a little bit lower than that 50, 60 threshold. I mean, it's still strong. I mean, you're getting 30 to 40 can pretty easily bring down a tree. you can see here, 40, 30, 37. So 30 to 40, very common. So a little less intense. But that'll be moving through Polk, that part of Fannin, and northern parts of Murray. That's why that advisory is there till 8:45. And then, as we mentioned again, it's a pretty, you look at that just from a radar point of view, it's a small storm. You think, nothing with it. Just rain and lightning, no big deal. But that's why we have Doppler radar. It's a good benefit of Doppler radar. You can peer inside the storm and say, hey, what are those winds doing? And those winds can't hide from you. When you got a scope like this, you can look inside and you can see those gusts right there, right along 75 and 41. So we crossing the interstate there. That's a pocket of very strong wind gust. Sugar Valley, just east of Illinois and just south of Dalton. I think that's the Carbondale Road exit right there. So within that, we see the purple. That's up around 50, 60. These other bright reds are 40 to 50 above the surface. Right in that purple area there, southern part of Whitfield, up to 60. So pretty strong gusts coming through. So we have these tools to show you what's happening inside these storms. And again, this line of storms, Dade and Walker, is coming up over Lookout Mountain. It's bringing you more heavy rain, but this is not a wind potential. Okay, it's rain, lightning, just making things wetter out there. And we've needed the rain. So the areas that have not had the heavy rain, we can take this downpour. It's the plateau that's had the very heavy rain and saturated ground that can't take it. But I think in these areas here, minor flooding, and in the flood-prone areas, do be aware of that. But this is not that severe. This stretches from downtown, Flintstone, Rossville, Chickamauga, Kensington, down to Somerville, to the Cove area. You're going to get this rain coming in. But it's loud on the rooftop, occasionally lightning or thunder, but this is not severe. We're more concerned about this one right here. I know it's an odd looking polygon, but it just follows that that area of the strongest wind gust. And you can see, clearly see it right there. Strongest gust over Resaca right now to just to the southern part of Whitfield. So it's staying just south of Dalton, but approaching that corner with Murray County. And you got gusts like this, just stay inside. If you have a tree that's you've always worried about leaning or something when they were just windy, kind of just stay away from that side of the house. But and you got gusts 50, 60, you have to worry about that. Falling limb, falling tree, and a not attached carport, things like that. So wind getting up under one of those, so just be aware of that. It does appear that those gusts were a little bit stronger here, a little bit lower here, but that's still in that 40, 50 mile an hour range. And again, severe threshold's 58. And because it's shown gusts of 60, that's why that warning remains in effect. Heaviest downpours of rain and lightning with that cell is near Villanelle and just south of Dalton, heading northeast. We'll come back to that one in a second. Closer to downtown, we're going to have more rain coming in. So Tiftonia, Lookout Valley, east of Jasper now. Jasper getting a little drier, but now the eastern part of Marion toward Raccoon Mountain, Elder Mountain, Prentice Cooper area. Downpours, lighter downpours, Red Bank and downtown. And then pretty heavy downpours here on Lookout Mountain, the Dade, Walker County border, Highway 136, pretty wet. And the downpours continue through Rising Fawn to Kensington, all the way back to Mentone, Valley Head, but not severe. That band there is mainly rain and not the severe aspect like we're seeing with that little cell right there. And let's check on this other one. A lot of lightning here in Polk County, into northern Murray, parts of Fannin. And this is all part of an advisory for this storm right here that's moving northeast. And it's got with it, you can see lightning, rain, and let's check on the wind gust potential there. And we see these pockets of bright red, not the dark red, but the bright red. Those little pockets there are what's left of the storm that was actually a little stronger to the southwest, but still these little pockets here. You got gusts about 40 to 50 above the surface. So still pretty strong, worthy of an advisory. Again, the threshold for severe is 58. So staying just below that, but again, 40 is not anything to ignore. That's pretty strong. So that's crossing 64 and right along the Ocoee River. A lot of higher terrain, a lot of valley pockets there and in between the mountain and ridge sides, so they could funnel the wind, make it a little stronger in spots. So be aware of that. It's not quite as strong as the velocity scan we're seeing down here. You can clearly see that pocket right there, the pocket of strong gusts just above the surface right there. And it's still right. We see that little bit of purple. That could be close to 60 and that severe threshold there. Yep, it's around 50. So this bright red, not dark red, bright red, is showing amounts 50, 55. So the darker, more crimson red, it's a little bit lower in speed. So the crimson red is up to 40. The bright red, sort of the Georgia red, is up to 50. With Georgia, Alabama playing this weekend, I've got that on my mind. But you can see that, yes, crimson red, bright red. So you get the idea. Thought that would make it relatable a little bit more. But that's the wind gust we're looking at there. So best just to stay inside, let the storm pass on by. Anytime you're in this severe thunderstorm polygon, you got to treat it as, if you're in that, understand that severe gusts could move your way. Elsewhere, in and around Dalton, it's not as windy. We'll watch how far north that core wind makes it. I think you're going to be fine in Ringgold. You're not going to have that strong wind, neither in Barnell. Fort Oglethorpe, you're going to get more rain coming your way. Same thing in Chickamauga, same thing downtown to East Brainerd, but not the wind. Okay, not the wind. In fact, if you look at this, I mentioned the crimson red. The darker red is lighter wind, and that's the case right now. And just to give you an idea, just above the surface here, some of these wind gusts, 25 to 30. So it's the brighter red. It's going to be a little bit stronger. So a little breezy out there with these areas here from Chattanooga Valley, Flintstone area, Rossville, Fort Oglethorpe, Chattanooga to East Brainerd, East Ridge. We're going to get some downpours coming in, but not windy, not severe. Just rest assured of that. And notice areas west of the city, things are drying out. All right, we've had an extension here of this warning. Here we go. So now LJ, you are under that warning. The new severe thunderstorm warning out for southwestern Gilmer, southern Murray, south central Winfield, and northeastern Gordon. This is for the same storm. Okay. They got the speed moving faster to the east at 35 because, as I mentioned, it's going to outpace that first polygon easily, and that's why they've issued this new one. Because you see where it is now, right here. So it's entering this part of the polygons. This is where it's going to move over the next 45 minutes. So this is about to. So really, that part of Walker, that part of Floyd, you're kind of out of the warning. But now from Resaca eastward to LJ is this warning. Moving east at 35, main hazard, as we've shown you the velocity scan, gust up to 60 miles an hour. So cities included in this and communities are Calhoun, LJ, East LJ, Resaca, Ramhurst, Audubon, Mountain Town, Oakman, Nicholsville, and Round Top, and including the North Georgia Speedway, to be more specific there. So again, that's the area right here. It's for the same storm we're watching right here. So again, they shortened that first polygon. So now, as I mentioned, Walker, Floyd, Chattooga, this part of Gordon, and areas south, Dalton no longer under that polygon. So it's maybe just centered right here. And it's for this wind gust potential. It's right there. There it goes. Come back here. Sorry about that. I hit the erase button. Didn't mean to do that. I want the query button. Yep. Still gusts from 50, 51 above the surface. So that is all headed to the east. East-northeast. So Resaca to Ellijay is our main area to watch right now for these stronger winds and that warning. Again, that warning there out till 8:45, or excuse me, 9 o'clock, 9 Eastern, top of the hour. And to give you a tracker on this, we'll move this over. Again, from a rainfall point of view, it's not that impressive. It's that wind in there. There you go. So there's a quick outline. Nicholsville around 8:14, Ramhurst 8:27, to Ellijay just before 9, and into that beautiful area, Cartacay area, into the mountains there, just after 9 o'clock. And that'll start getting into the more mountainous areas. So again, those winds can, get funneled in the valley pockets. Upslope can be a little bit stronger. So be pretty strong once you get into these mountainous pockets here. For Murray County, it's mainly going to be this area from Ramhurst south. I don't think it's going to include Crandall. Crandall, you've had one cell move away from you. And I think this one's going to stay to your south. Still raining and still lightning, but I think this is the path of those stronger wind gusts. And let's go to this advisory here in Polk and Fannin County. This is a totally separate storm. It's for the area right in here. A lot of rain, a lot of lightning. You go northern Polk all the way down here to east of Crandall, west of Copper Hill. And again, within that, you can peer inside there, that really bright red. I mentioned the crimson red versus the bright red. The bright red is what you want to look for as far as the stronger gust here. And just to give you some idea, these are gusts up to 40. So 35 to 40 across Polk. The darker red, as you'll notice, a little bit lower. See, those are more in the 20 to 30 mile an hour range. So it's still pretty windy across Polk. A little less windy over Fannin, but still with those valley pockets and upslope flow in the mountains, it can be a little stronger. So that is why this is more of an advisory till 8:45 than it is a warning like the one to the south, because that cell here is the one that's got the stronger wind gust potential. So this part about to expire, this one in effect till the top of the hour. Here it is. It's more a broad rotation there aloft. But you can clearly see where those stronger gusts are pushing through there, right along the Murray and Gordon County line, now east of Resaca. If you live in those areas, let me know if you've had any damage, what you've seen through there. Seen some folks chiming in for Chatsworth. I think that wind is going to stay just south even of Chatsworth. I don't think Chatsworth is in that polygon. No, that warning south of Chatsworth. So I want to hear any folks that live in southern Murray, northern Gordon, and especially this area from Ellijay back westward to the county line. Just a tremendous amount of wind gusts there. We'll keep an eye on that for you. Looking again, I know if you're watching my stream, my head looks like I'm looking away from the radar. Well, actually, the radar is here. So as I have to look this way, you're looking at it on a vantage point on the screen, just if you're wondering what I'm looking at. You can see that the downpours here across Dade, Walker, Hamilton are all a little bit less. A little bit less. See, I've got the broader radar view on this side, and I've got the more isolated one to this side of me. And what you're seeing is what you're seeing here is what I'm seeing over here. Okay, so it looks kind of opposite on your viewing screen there. In case you're wondering, or my head's turned the other direction. But as you can see, watch this cell. This cell's amazing. The rain is kind of falling apart. I mean, there's not as much heavy rain with that. But the wind is still pretty ferocious with that. Check one more screen here. Yeah. watching 3 separate screens here all at once. Again, around the city of Chattanooga, it's still raining. It's raining. Probably hear the rain on our rooftop right now. It's some good rain we've needed, but it's not severe. It's severe if you can be out driving because there can be some runoff on the roadways. And because it hasn't rained in a while, it gets hot outside. The oil bubbles up on the asphalt. And then you add water, makes it extra slippery. Be careful out there, okay? The rain will help kind of wash some of that off. But for now, when you initially start adding that rain to that oily surface, it can get really slippery out there. So increase that braking distance a bit. But overall, the concentration of rain kind of dying down. Same thing with that cell that's causing all the wind east of Resaca now and threatening southern Murray and northern Gordon and through Gilmer County. I mean, it's from a rain point of view, it's not too heavy. It's just a, more of a rain situation. Again, this morning out, we've been following out till top of the hour, 9 o'clock. Goes from Resaca to Ellijay. You still see those strong gusts have moved through here, through southern Whitfield, south of Dalton, to about southern Murray, right on the Murray-Gordon line. I don't see the purple shading, which is good, okay? Maybe trending a little lower, but still that bright red's in that 50-mile-an-hour range. That's close to 50 there. I mentioned the crimson red's a little lower, the bright red's a little higher with the wind speed. So that's still some pretty rough stuff there. That'll be crossing 411 and intersect 74. Heading into, this is the Gilmer County border right there. So Fort Mountain and areas east. Yeah, let's look up in here just to show you where this, this advisory's out to 8:45 for some heavy rain, lightning, and some gusts. That could be in the 30 to up to 40. So it's just below that severe threshold. That's why this is more of an advisory than it is a warning, but still, 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts, still pretty strong. Let's take a look at that. This is now, why it's green is because now it's been picked up by the Morristown radar. So when it was red, it was moving away from the high top and away from the Atlanta radar. Now it's moving toward the Morristown radar. And you can see the outer periphery of that radar. And that's so it's now moving toward. But either way, it still gives you the same info you want. Here it is, around 40. Ignore the negative because, again, it's just because it's moving toward their radar. So still 35 to 40 miles an hour in that area. Okay. That purple, again, is just the outer radius of the Morristown radar. Nothing weird going on. It's just the radius of the radar. But still 35 to 40. 35 to 40 with that rain in that area there. And even goes as far north as Tellico Plains. So beware Murphy still. Some gusts will come your way. Now let's take a look at this. This has been the most active area. Strong gust now. Really kind of a strong east-west line moving east right along the 411 intersection there. And again, these bright reds are in that 40 to 50 mile an hour range. And toward Chatsworth, it's a little bit lower. It's that darker red, so it's quite a drop off in speed. But those are the strongest areas now. Everything else is not that bad. I have someone asking. See, Jackie's asking about Mountain Cove area. Well, here you go. There's some rain happening, a little breezy, but the intensity of the rain is kind of coming down. So it'll be easing up there in the Cove area after 9 o'clock, but not severe. Not severe in the Cove area. It's been a little rough early, but most of this is starting to move out. Calhoun, a quick downpour there. As I mentioned, from a rainfall point of view, that's not that impressive, but it's the wind with it. So why we've started this broadcast, because there's that potential with these storms moving in. Didn't want anyone surprised by that. That's what we're here for. So if I outline this, you see these pockets of wind right here that we're watching. Right there. And it's heading to the east. A little bit northeast, but that's why it's in this polygon here, which is out till 9 o'clock. So it'll be crossing into Gilmer County next few minutes, by 8:30. Possibly delayed scan on the radars that probably is already pushed into right along the Gilmer County line. Let's see. Darlene asking about Ringgold. Darlene, Ringgold's okay. Still going to rain for another hour or so, but nothing severe. Maybe occasional rumble of thunder, but you're okay. Nothing severe with that. Whitwell, same thing. Things are actually easing up. So quite a bit of rain over Hamilton County. It's going to be raining for a while through at least 10 o'clock, but not severe. Same thing in Cleveland. You got more rain coming in. None of this is severe. Again, the two areas to watch are ones that are moving away, pushing to the edge of our viewing area. So again, this has some gust 30 to 40. And then this one's got the gust potential 50 to 60, although it's easing a bit, but still pretty strong. And that's why this warning here is out till 9 o'clock. So that's the only severe thunderstorm warning. This is a special weather statement. Also be aware, flood advisory out from parts of Jackson to DeKalb County. That rain is producing anywhere between 1 and 3 inches of rain. So it's causing runoff, and be aware of flash flooding. And you can see how little shades of purple popping up right about there. That's where this wind seemed to be a little stronger, and that's when that warning was issued. And now it's still that bright red, still pretty strong, but it's kind of easing back. It was teetering near 60. Now it's kind of easing back just a little bit. So we'll see if that trend holds on. That's how that warning's out for that storm right there. Quite a bit of lightning and rain there. Tellico Plains, Turtletown, down in the southern parts of Polk County. This has wind gusts up to 40, but below severe levels. Would just be aware of that along the Ocoee River. Pretty loud there, with all the loud claps of thunder with all that lightning. Let's see. Elisa asking in Blue Ridge. I don't think this storm will head to Blue Ridge. What you're going to see in Blue Ridge, you're going to have some rain and lightning coming over the mountains here. And it's going to get pretty windy. But, this has more 20 to 30 mile an hour winds. This one near LJ is probably going to stay just to your south, the one that has the severe thunderstorm warning with it. Hope that answers your question. Scott asking Dalton. Yeah, Dalton's pretty much clear from the strong storms. It's still going to rain. Still going to be lightning in Dalton through at least 10 o'clock or just after. But still kind of noisy. But the severe aspect, like you've seen with those rounds of wind, that's all now moving to your east. Asia in Bradley County, same thing. Rain, occasional thunder, but at this point, not severe. All right, let's check back on that storm there in far southern Murray, heading to Gilmer County. In this severe thunderstorm warning, probably gone out till 9 o'clock. And you can see we're on the outer radius here of the high top radar. That's where these purple streaks are. Farther north, we're seeing the outer radius of the Morristown radar. So you get into these areas, that's where they kind of intersect a little bit. But that's what that purple means. It doesn't mean off the charts wind or anything strange going on. That's just all that means. But you can still see this bright red. There's still some gusts, 49, 45 to 50. Again, as you get into these mountain pockets and upslope flow, it's going to make it a little stronger in spots. And again, that severe thunderstorm warning out until top of the hour, 9 o'clock, roughly the next half hour. There we go. We'll tilt that radar down just a bit to give you more of a look at the heavy downpours there. That gives you an overview of the entire area. And you can see west of the city, things are easing up quite a bit. So again, you can see heavy downpours of rain around Cleveland. It's not severe, though. Rain and lightning, but not the windy aspect. We're keeping an eye on that cell there with the wind. And, of course, that cell moving through Murray and back through Gilmer. So I'm showing you more of the reflectivity. We've been showing the velocity. So again, the downpours are there, but keeping an eye on the velocity more than anything. You can see it right in there. Strong gusts pushing into Gilmer County. And that's the main cell right there, right along 411. Back to Calhoun. This is still pretty impressive there from Calhoun down to Adairsville. But the wind potential is a little less there. That darker red is more in that 20 to 30 mile an hour range. Still pretty windy, pretty rainy there. And again, Cleveland, Cohutta, Crandall is still pretty good downpours, but it's not accompanied by strong winds. So just to give you some idea, around Cleveland, these are gusts 20 to 30. So it's still pretty windy. That's above the surface. So down to the surface, not too strong. It's below advisory level. And again, west of the city, things are really easing up pretty quickly. For Polk County, there'll be another round of heavy rain coming your way. But this one had more wind than this one. This one does not have as much wind. Okay. And the strongest of everything locally is this one entering Gilmer County. In fact, here's an update as they've just kind of updated the polygon there. Let's see. Severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect until 9 o'clock Eastern for southwestern Gilmer, southeastern Murray, and northeastern Gordon. The storm is located near Tails Creek, or about 7 miles southwest of LJ, moving east at 40. So it's picking up speed a bit. So LJ, East LJ, Ramhurst, Mountain Town, and Round Top in the polygon. 60 mile an hour wind gusts remain possible. You can see right where they're advising right here with the strongest gust. So we'll keep an eye on that. These advisories for this round of storms here from Turtletown, Copper Hill, Tutticle Plains, this is where it's had those gusts in that over 30-mile-an-hour range. We'll kind of move up and down this line just a bit. And it's a different color scale because we're looking at the Morristown radar. So these winds are moving toward the radar. But again, the bright green indicates 35 to 40. So again, it's below severe threshold. East of Tutticle Plains, they're about 30. All right, let's move down that line just a bit. Right along the Cherokee and Polk County line. Again, that purple is the outer radius of the Morristown radar. About 30, 35. So it can reach up to 40. That's what advisory meant. That's a good estimation there, great estimation there by the Weather Service. And same thing for Blue Ridge. I think we addressed that. Blue Ridge would have the gust now from this line. And then this is not as windy back here. But this gust near LJ won't come to Blue Ridge. This is mainly going to impact LJ and areas farther east with time. Yep. So we can look at the winds around Blue Ridge at the moment. Yeah, still in that 20 to 30-mile-an-hour range. Not too bad. A little breezy, rainy, wind-driven rain. And then this one from 411 to just west of LJ. Right there as it moves to the east. Heavy downpours and a lot of those winds accompanying that. Not quite as pronounced as it was, is it? Now, I remember we looked at this about a half hour ago and you had those off-the-chart purple. But not quite as bad. These speeds coming down a bit. But again, there are terrain features here. So through these little mountain pockets and whatnot, you're going to have varying speeds, and in some cases, some higher speeds, upslope flow and valley pockets. But right now, estimations are 20 miles an hour. Let me check some of these on the county line. Still up around 50. So you still back up around in here. It's still pretty rough, at least above the surface. Looks like just south of Chatsworth and just west of LJ. Again, elsewhere, non-severe rain. Yeah, it's pouring in Cleveland. It's pouring in Calhoun, Tennessee. It's pouring South Cleveland all the way down to Red Clay. But again, this is not severe. Beware the lightning risk and just be careful if you have to drive at all. That goes down into Whitfield County. Off and on pockets of rain from Dalton back to Ringgold. Ringgold, you got some good downpours, but again, it's not severe. I want you to rest assured of that. It'll be easing in Ringgold by 9 o'clock. And all those areas west, like Chickamauga, Trenton, things are easing up. Downtown's going to be easing up before 9 o'clock. But East Brainerd, still some good downpours over to Ottawa, but it's not severe. Not severe. You can rest a little easier. Two main areas to watch. We're watching this storm moving into Gilmer County with that strong wind potential. And this is an advisory out through Cherokee County till 8:45. Again, wind gusts from 30 to 40. So this is the strongest. This is just a little weaker. And this here is just rain, just flat out rain. I'll give you a brief overview of tomorrow. So here's our future track. It's around 10:30, 11. Things start kind of breaking up, moving northeast a bit. So overnight, not quite as active. Okay. There'll still be some rain, occasional clap of thunder that may wake you up. 7:15 tomorrow, cloudy, foggy, rainy, still kind of damp. But through the day, there'll be pockets of showers. shower, thunder shower at times, but a little sun coming back for the afternoon, which may percolate the atmosphere a bit. So we may still see some afternoon thunder showers, but the coverage is not going to be quite as concentrated as today. So showers are still there, but it's still not an all-day thing. Temperatures making it back to around 80. And really, as we go in time towards Friday, not totally absent of rain, but a whole lot less. So this is Friday morning, Friday afternoon, a few spotty showers during the afternoon, but I think for football time Friday evening, all that moves out. So might have a few wet fields, but I don't think for game time it'll be that bad. Even Saturday, a small shower chance, but nothing too bad. So I just thought I would update you on that. Get you caught up for the weekend. Again, this is the rainfall estimate over the past 3 hours. Coming up. There we go. Sorry, that's the past 48. Let me go back to the past 3 hours. So this is just over the past 3 hours, going back toward just after 5 o'clock. And you can see there have been some really good pockets. We see the yellow and orange, quite a bit of heavy rain in here, and repeated rounds in this area. So northern parts of Hamilton, Bethlehem, Marion, Franklin, some of these amounts have easily exceeded 1 inch to 2 inches. Northeastern Jackson. And let's look down here, this little bullseye right there, south of Scottsboro. That's around 4 inches. Parts of Walker and Chattooga, these have been repeated rounds, over 2 inches of rain. Somerville, always prone to flooding. And then across Polk County, where we're starting now getting the showers coming in, this amounts have already exceeded 1 inch. So this is just over the past 3 hours alone. That's the reason we had that weather alert status today, because some spotty areas that might have some flash flooding. It's not quite as widespread like we had a month ago, thank goodness. But nevertheless, with the areas north and west of the city near the plateau that have been so saturated, any of this rain could cause some flash flooding. And there's the current radar view. All right, they've just expanded this advisory to include Cherokee and Clay County. So Murphy and Hayesville both. And again, we're just watching this line here. This will stay out till about 9:15. And that basically means you could have wind gusts upwards of 40, about what we've seen over Polk County. Now that's been severe. We haven't had reports of damage. There might have been some power outages. I haven't scanned all the messages here, but I don't think we've had any damage here. But just be aware in Andrews, Murphy, over to Hayesville, it's going to get pretty windy, wind-driven rain, and some occasional lightning thunder. So just kind of stay inside for a while. That storm passes by. But we're looking at that storm right there. So just to give you some idea of the wind in there, we're estimating 30 to 40. Let's see where we stand now. Yep, 35 to 40. Same thing. It's about 35 to 40 miles an hour. And around Blue Ridge, kind of in between those advisories, but still you're in that line right there. Again, that purple, ignore the purple. That's just the outer radius of the Morristown radar. 35 to 40 in Blue Ridge. So nearing advisory level, but not a warning level. And now here we are in Ellijay, where that severe thunderstorm warning is still out till the top of the hour, about 15 more minutes. And you can see, so those pockets of deep red here, it's coming down in speed just a bit. But it can be deceiving because you, again, as I've mentioned so often, you're dealing with upslope flow in the mountains, you're dealing with valley pockets, channeling, funneling the wind. So just be aware of that. Respect the polygon, respect the warning out till 9 o'clock. And again, that's that severe thunderstorm warning there. Although the worst part of that storm seems to be now more in Gilmer, kind of getting out of Murray and Gordon. That's out till 9 o'clock. Next 15 minutes. Elsewhere, these other areas of rain, and it's just that. It's raining buckets. I get it. From Bradley through Polk County. But none of this is severe. It's breezy, but not severe. But just stay inside. You don't have to travel, don't, because it's going to cause some ponding on roadways and little minor flooding in spots. All the way down to areas north of Chatsworth, north of Crandall, But it is easing up. Ringgold still got some moderate downpours. Dalton's still pretty good downpours between now and 9 o'clock. But after that, things do ease quite a bit. Downtown Chattanooga's eased up. Everything west of the city is eased up. And there'll still be some return chance of isolated showers overnight, but hopefully not as bad as what we're seeing here. So hopefully by 9, this storm will move on through and get on out of here. Eastern parts of Gordon, which is now east of Calhoun, headed towards Fairmont. This southern flank of that storm, still pretty robust, heavy rain. But again, last velocity scan wasn't quite as bad as that in Gilmer. So near Fairmont and Ranger, you got some gust, 35 to 40, okay. But not with that upper threshold of 50 or higher like we were seeing earlier. So still pretty windy and rainy there. So be aware of that. In Ranger, Fairmont, that area right along 411 there, and around a wind-driven rain coming your way. And you can see they're issuing an advisory here outside our viewing area farther south and west with this storm north of Cartersville. That doesn't include any of us locally. And in case you're wondering, if you're watching in this area, that storm near Cartersville, moving east-northeast towards Canton, towards Tate, and that could have gust upwards of 40. Excuse me. Again, this is the more secondary area with some wind and rain. Over near Hot House. Love that name. To about Murphy, just west of there. Again, this has some wind gusts up to 40. It's 35 to 40 on the last velocity scan. Heavy rain, a lot of lightning. The movement was to the east at 25. Do a quick tracker on that for you. There's a movement over the next hour. So Murphy, top of the hour, just after the top of the hour, 9 o'clock. Get ready for some downpours. Loud claps of thunder and some wind. Ivy Log, 909. Nantahala, way up to Nantahala at 941. Valleytown, around 930. That would put Hayesville about 925, 930 as well. Right on the edge of when that polygon expires. So 9:15, 9:30 Eastern. So again, wind, rain, lightning, and some gusts 30 to 40. Though not severe, still worthy to just keep an eye on things and kind of stay inside. But it's with this long band right there. In Blue Ridge, no advisory or warning, but again, you got some gusts there. Not the purple. How many times have I said it this evening? It's got some gusts 40, 45. So gust potential picking up a bit. So it's pretty windy and rainy in Blue Ridge. So no advisory there, no warning, but be aware of that. It's still pretty windy and rainy there. And that's also got some heavy downpours of rain with it. So a lot of wind, rain, and lightning from Blue Ridge all the way to McKaysville and crossing the state line into North Carolina here on that tri-state area. All part of that line. And then the southern part here, this has been the most dangerous line with the stronger wind gust over around Ellijay at the moment. Yeah, gusts are a little bit less. Again, it's kind of deceiving when you get to these mountainous areas. Can't trust the velocity scan quite as much. And then back here, folks, everything is not quite as bad. See, the area of heavy rain really shrinking fast over Bradley and Polk, although more's coming in out of Whitfield County for Bradley, but it's not severe. And areas north, the McMinn and Monroe County. Don't want to ignore y'all tonight. It just hasn't been as active there. Yes, it's raining and there's occasional lightning, Etowah, Inglewood, Tellico Plain, Sweetwater, but Again, not severe. Decatur, Dayton, things are improving. Sail Creek, Saudi, things will be improving. Dunlap, you're looking good. Mont Eagle, South Pittsburgh, looking good. Stevenson to Scottsboro, which is so active a few hours ago, things are looking good there too. Rome, some good downpours, but again, not severe there. Somerville, you need a break after the several rounds of rain. You're about to get it. There's still some moderate downpours, southern part of Chattooga. Gordon County about to improve, but that's still a pretty nasty part of that cell there from Ranger to Fairmont with some wind gusts, as we outlined a few minutes ago. Still in that 30 to 40 mile an hour range. And this warning here, that cell's just about to outpace that warning, but nevertheless, that part of Gilmer County, that warning expires top of the hour 9. We'll see if they expand that for the eastern part of the county, at the very least an advisory. Blue Ridge, again, wind gusts 30 to over 40 miles an hour. Even though you're not in advisory, just be aware of that. It's starting to move away from you. And Polk County, things are improving. There's still more rain coming your way through Polk, but the worst of the wind is now crossed into North Carolina, crossed into Cherokee County. So more rain coming in inbound, but not the wind. The wind is with that line right there. Murphy, you're about to have that wind on your doorstep. Windy, rainy. And again, this advisory for the wind potential up to 40 and the heavy rain out till 9:15, or for the next 25 minutes. That goes all the way eastward to Hayesville. And again, terrain impacting this storm near Ellijay. We hope that holds and severity dies down. And then you can see Dalton, still some pretty good downpours. As quick as it starts, it'll be quickly ending soon. But that means more downpours for a while longer. Varnell, Chatsworth, Crandall. So we got more rain coming in. More rain coming in. Ringo, the rain is easing. East Brainerd, Ooltewah starting to ease a bit. Sunny Daisy, Sail Creek easing up a bit. So that's some good news. We like good news, don't we? Yep. So we'll keep an eye on these two areas while they are still pretty active there. I'll look at this third screen here. See if I'm, the advisories. No, everything seems to be moving along pretty well. Things are trending a bit drier. We'll still have some off and on scattered showers overnight, but not the covers like we're seeing now. And the severe threat tomorrow, I'll show you this. Tomorrow's severe threat is much farther east. So this is tomorrow night. The threat level is farther east. So that's why we still have some scattered thunder showers tomorrow, but it's a lot lesser of a severe chance, which is good. And also all the heavy rain coming up that we had today, we were in that excessive rainfall outlook. That's why we were kind of weather alert today, because if you look at this from just an excessive rainfall outlook, we were in that yellow shading. That's level 2 on a scale of 1 to 4. And that's largely because the plateau area back here had so much rain, the ground was saturated. Well, tomorrow, notice the timeline here for tomorrow is a lot less. So areas east of I-75, you're under that level 1 threat. So it's a little lower threat, a little less coverage. So this will be some areas to watch, but not to the extent like we had today. And again, this warning here hopefully will expire in the next few minutes. We'll keep an eye on that for areas now. It's right over Ellijay, just south of Blue Ridge. And of course, we're watching this very long area of wind and rain and lightning over toward the Murphy area. So Clay Lewis asking, "What's up, David? Can't wait for the Georgia-Alabama game?" Yeah, it's going to be a big one this weekend. Who you got in that one? I mean, it is in Athens, between the hedges. We'll see. It'll be interesting. It's always a good game. Whether or not if you're for the Tide or the Bulldogs, whatever group you're with, it's always a great game. Last year's was fantastic. And the SEC championships, even back to the national title game in 2017, it just goes down to the wire. I expect a very entertaining game. We'll see. All right, so it looks like Peachtree City is going to allow this to expire at 9 o'clock. And what they've done now is from around LJ eastward, they've extended this long area of a thunderstorm advisory. So they're seeing the trends we're seeing, where the wind speeds were kind of dying down a bit. So between now and 9:30, this advisory will be out for that part of Fannin and Gilmer, and that part goes into Dawson County. Again, wind gust up to 40 miles an hour. So that wind gust has really come down. So we're about out of that severe threshold. But nevertheless, just be aware of that in this part of eastern Gilmer, that southern portion of Fannin. It's now moving away from Blue Ridge and moving away from LJ. So again, this severe thunderstorm warning will be allowed to expire in the next 5 minutes, which is good. And again, so 9:15, this is just another advisory here. Wind gusts up to 40 possible, rain, lightning. And for Murphy, it won't be the only round of rain. It'll be another batch coming in behind it. So between now and 11 o'clock, you're going to have 2 rounds of rain coming in. One coming in now, another one coming in from the west. Okay? So, again, this is not severe. It's this that has some gust with it, 30 to 40. And again, the gust potential around LJ is starting to come down. And that's why they've issued this advisory to extend from this warning. And again, those wind gusts 30 to 40 as well. So dropping below severe levels. All right. Let's see. April. April has the RTR roll tide roll there. We'll see. I asked folks for their pick. April's the only one that's chimed in so far. That game will be right here on News Channel 9. Kickoff 7:30 Saturday night. Love college football season. Goodness gracious. Can't get enough of it. I like it better than pro football. It's not just because the Titans and Falcons are down. College football to me is just so much better atmosphere. All right, folks, we're going to wrap up this since we're approaching now 9 o'clock. 2 things I want you to know. We'll continue to keep an eye on things here for Cherokee County. It's not right now reaching Murphy, so now you're getting the rain. There'll be wind gusts 30 to 40. So you got this advisory out to 9:15, but it's below severe levels. So beware the wind, the rain, the lightning threat. Okay. But it's below severe levels. Same thing toward Hayesville. They'll be reaching you between 9 and 9:30. And again, this warning over that part of Gilmer County will expire in the next few minutes. And it's been downgraded, next step lower, to an advisory. So just be aware in that eastern part of Gilmer, southern Fannin, on into Dawson County. Wind, rain, but just below severe levels. Again, we're still seeing heavy rain, Dalton to Chatsworth to Ocoee. This is not severe. It's mainly rain. The wind gusts aren't too strong, okay? But things will be improving during the upcoming hour. All right, folks? All right, so that's it for now, this update. I appreciate everybody for watching this. Thanks so much. Be careful out there. As you head to the evening hours, watch for areas of flooding that's happened. If there's been any tree limbs blown around, be aware of some debris on streets with some of the warnings that happened. But we'll wrap this up. Be sure to join me on Fox Chattanooga starting at 10 o'clock, which you can also watch on foxchattanooga.com, and News Channel 9, of course, coming on up at 11, which you can watch again on your mobile device on newschannel9.com. Stay safe, everybody. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great night.